Hello everyone and welcome back to My Hero Academia Podfics. Today I'm going to be reading Just Like You by Small Snake Boy off of AO3. The summary is, it was a cold December night when Eri asks a question that no one was prepared for. No one knew how to answer her except... And I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this for you guys. It was a cold December night. All of 1A along with Aizawa and Yamada were in the common room. The self-proclaimed Baku squad, including Bakugo, were huddled up on the couch, seeking warmth from one another. Todoroki and Yayorozu were sitting on the floor, seemingly discussing which tea was the best. Ida, Ojiro, and Uraraka, Tsuyu, and Hagakure sat in the middle playing Uno on the floor, using their fish biscuits as money. Jiro, Tokiyami, Aoyama, Shinso, and Shoji created a mini circle in one of the corners, sharing their favorite bands and possibly, definitely, trying to summon some demons. Koda and Sato were in a heated discussion about which food was best for Koda's rabbit. Aizawa, Yamada, and Eri were seated at the table. Yamada and Aizawa were marking essays, whilst Eri was reading her book. Midoriya was sitting alone, leaning against the window with a hot cup of coffee, acting as a hand warmer, looking out at the lights of the city. The common room was filled with chatter, but not unwelcomed ones. The noise was rather comforting and peaceful, as a matter of fact. Hey, Eraserhead. Aizawa looked up from Kaminari's essay and found Eri frowning down at her picture book. Yes, Eri. She scrunched up her nose, looking at him, holding up her book to point at a word. What's it, Dad? The once bustling common room went still. The students seemed to freeze. Aizawa didn't know how to answer this. After all, how could he if he never had a father figure present in his life? And Yamada, who knew about his home life, was ready to intercept, but before he could, someone else did. Well, Eri, I would say that a dad is someone who takes care of you, Midoriya softly spoke from his spot. She turned her gaze towards Midoriya, who was still gazing out the window, pondering for a moment before she lit up. So, like a doctor? He laughed softly and turned towards her. No, not like that. She went back to looking confused. A dad is someone who scares away all the big bad men and monsters when you're too scared to do so yourself. A dad is someone who you can rely on, whether it's homework or fixing the television. A dad is someone who picks you up when you're gonna fall. A dad is someone who'd tell you funny little stories for the nights that you can't sleep. A dad is someone who you know would love you, no matter what. Midoriya seemed to gaze off into the distance with a fond smile, as if reminiscing an old memory. He'd hug you when you're sad. He'd tickle you if you have tears of laughter streaming down your face, even. Sometimes he'd lay on you to hold you down, Midoriya chuckled softly. He would never hurt you on purpose, and if you did get hurt, he'd be there to kiss it better. He'd volunteer to play the villain just so you could be the hero, as always. He would always protect you, whether he knew it or not. He'd comfort you when you get nightmares. He would be someone who'd carry you around on his shoulders so you could feel like you were on top of the world. And most importantly, he's someone who makes you feel safe. Like nothing in this world could ever get to you if he was near you. A dad is pretty much like a hero, I guess. Everyone in the common room had stopped what they were doing just to stare at him. In all of the time they've known Midoriya, they'd never seen him look so calm and at peace. He snapped back to reality when he felt a small hand on his knee. Eri stared up at him, seeming to think for a second. So, like you, Deku. Well, what? No, he sputtered out, and just like that, the spell was completely broken. Yamada got his phone out and started recording. But, remember when you scared away all the bad birdmen? And you helped me with reading, and you told me my quirk was a kind quirk, and you never hurt me, and you kissed my head better when it was hurting, and then there was this time where you carried me on your back as you leapt from a tree to tree, because I said I wanted to fly. She noticeably got more and more excited as she started rambling on. You make me feel so safe, Deku, like fwa inside. And you're my hero. Midoriya froze at that. Eri started bouncing in excitement. Can I call you Dad? Midoriya seemed to blush even harder as the whole room stifled their laughter. Even Aizawa had a small smile on his face. Midoriya wanted to say no, but how could he? How could anyone say no to Eri? He sighed internally. Sure you can, Jem. All the girls cooed at how cute the pair was being right now. She tilted her head. Jem? Mm-hmm. Gems are one of my favorite things that exist in the whole world. They each symbolize a different meaning, and they're all so rare. He picked her up as she nuzzled her head into the crook of his neck. Everyone in the room was still watching the pair. Yamada was still recording the whole exchange. "What's your favorite gem?" she asked, her voice slightly muffled. "The rarest one of all." Midoriya had a small smile on his face. "You." That concludes Just Like You. It's such a good dadzuku fic. I love this one so much. Very short and sweet. Always a good one that I like to go back to and read every now and again if I just need some good fluff fics to look through. Let me know your guys' thoughts, and if you have any recommendations, as always, I'll appreciate those. Thanks so much for listening.